welcome to Total Dust, and this is an interesting one. This is shotgunning for you today. It's really early as I look out my window. It's snowing. I'm hungover, and I tell you what, it's because HZ1Z was released last night, which is pretty good. And we're going to talk about maybe some comparators. That's a big word to use when I'm this hungover, with Legion. And so, because it's an interesting kind of concept, because from what I can tell, Legion is obviously going to potentially lend from games like DayZ, etc. Look at that, 3 shotgun kills with an Apex suit. Isn't that amazing? This is all with a controller, by the way. Controllers are ridiculously good. I can't believe it's taken me this long to figure that out. It just shows you what a slow, dull mind I really, truly, maybe completely and utterly have, because I was just blown away by how good aim assist. It's not kind of OP, don't get me wrong. It's not like Destiny levels of aim assist. It's just good. It just works, you know. And I guess, their priority in a console game is going to have to be to get the controller to work better than mouse and keyboard, which I think in Chromosome was the other way around. I think mouse and keyboard was better in Chromosome, which is not really fair, because you think about it, people, look at that, in the face. Oh yeah, boom, love it. I think this is probably one of the finest times in Dust for me. I wish there was more people playing it, obviously. I know a lot of you watch these videos and don't play anymore, which to me is kind of like cheating. You know, you've got like a wife and kids, and but you never see them. You never put some time into them. You never care for them. You just send them a Christmas card every Christmas. It's like that, and you should feel bad. You should feel terrible, because Dust is a lost little lonely orphan child with big eyes staring up at you saying, "Why won't you play me?" That came across slightly wrong, but you know what I mean. Look at that, smack, booyah! I love the shotgun. It reminds me of good times. Does the shotgun? It was such a cool gun. Anyway, I think if you can just get beyond the frustrations of the game, which unfortunately do need to be fixed, and let's just talk about that very quickly, is matchmaking is pretty much the big one. Everything else you can kind of excuse. Yes, there's some overpowered guns. Yes, there's some kind of difficult game modes. Yes, there's a few challenges. But if they just fix matchmaking so that you get those equal level matches, then that'd be pretty good. And let me tell you why matchmaking doesn't work at the moment, in my opinion. It's because the CCP don't quite understand that somebody could be a very low level player. So somebody like a corporal or a private in terms of the ranking. They could have only 10 million skill points, but they could be the most dangerous mofo out there because they've maxed a particular skill tree. So, for example, Caldari Scout, shotgun, and they play it continually, so therefore they're very good at it. You would get 10 of them for every one of me because of the way that we are ranked, 60 million skill points, Colonel and all that. So if you put Stefan the Almighty and myself in a match, you've got like over 120 million skill points, and you've got, you see what I mean? That's how it's being done, I suspect. It's not being done correctly. It's being done based upon arbitrary figures that don't actually make for the right mix. Do you know what I mean? And I think if they can just fix that, so I don't know how they'll fix it, but surely it comes down to, there has to be a metric that's logging maybe how often you play. There's certainly a metric logging your KD. There's certainly a metric logging your win-loss. There's definitely a metric logging this kind of thing. So, how many kills per whatever. That it's all being logged. We know this because obviously the missions are driven a lot from this. So why can't they use those metrics to effectively drive matchmaking? Or if they are, then they're obviously not working. So do you know what I mean? There's definitely something not quite right. I mean, I don't think it's ever been this bad ever in the time that I've been playing, where it's just so obviously a stomp one way or the other. And I'll give you an example. We were running a casual gang of Masters of the Universe, but casual, seriously. And we had probably 6 people with easily over 60, 70 million skill points each. And we were put against 2 of the toughest gangs, I would say, in the game, because they were obviously, they were very capable players. By the way, loving the shotgun, by the way. Are you seeing the shotgun stuff? It's funny. Anyway, and we were put against 2 really difficult kind of gangs. And we had a group of randoms on our side. I mean, it's pretty obvious we're going to get stomped. No matter how good we like to think we are. I mean, we're not great, but we're not bad. But yeah, we got stomped. And this happened for about 4 matches. And after your 4th defeat, we logged off. People logged off. The gang gave up. And that's the problem, is that you're not getting a nice, healthy balance of good and bad. And plus, Schley Ashes put this absolutely succinctly, which was, we were playing against a group of people who all they seem to do in ambush is run to the extent of the map and snipe now. And it's not very effective. They get a very high KD, let's be honest. But it does also mean that, you know, every map, every single round we played, round after round, they were doing this tactic. And it's kind of like, you get to the point where you think, oh, I'm so tired of this now. It's constantly facing the same person or the same people who do the same tactic over and over. And you kind of have to interrupt your regular fun game style to go disrupt them. And because you have to do that over and over, after the 4th or 5th time, the entire gang just gave up, because it's like, oh, it's these guys again. So, you know, okay, so the first thing you'd say is leave gang. So you go and leave game rather, and join another one. We did that. We waited 5 minutes. We got put straight back in with them. Everybody logged off. Everybody logged off, because that is just shit. Excuse my French. Because no one wants to play the kind of bullshit game. And let me implore to you now, because we in this channel have made a bit of a kind of, you know, name for ourselves, being the people that kind of would pick a funny tactic and use it and exploit it. Remote explosives, plasma cannons, you know, you name it, we've done it. You know, bomb trucking particularly. And we know when to stop, though. So when we're playing in a game, we'll bomb truck once. We will never do it 2 times in a row, because there's a fun enjoyment level that you have to sort of factor in. I think people don't do that. People are so bored of the regular game now. They're just looking for the funny little thing to do, like sniping's ridiculously overpowered at the moment. So everybody's doing it, but they're doing it in ambushes. They're doing it like in such kind of cheesy, annoying, frustrating, boring ways, just to kind of kill people. It's just literally becoming like a, fuck you, I'm going to play the game I want to, and I don't care if it destroys your interest in it. So, you know, you can't have a tactic that makes people log off. You know, you can't have a group of people doing it continually all the time. And matchmaking just puts us against the same people in a tranche, we call it a run the same run or the same, you know, track as these people, and just game after game after game, we get the same players against us, never on our team, so it never mixes the teams. It's just the same over and over, and it's frustrating. And I find there's just not enough players, and this is the problem. There's not enough players out there who are every time they spawn, they're trying something different. So, you know, okay, you've seen me shotgunning this time. Yeah, I cut out the bit at the front where I was using combat rifle. Yeah, this is the point of the game, is that you would do different things. And I think there's just so many people now who just want to, you know, do remote explosive frisbee, and that's it. That's all they want to do. They're not really interested in anything else, and that's it. And if they can disrupt your fun, then that's kind of, you know, mission achieved for them. But they don't realize that's just making people log off. That's got to be the most frustrating part of the game, is that, you know, you're doing tactics that make people log off. Now, I'm culprit of this. I get this. But I'm also very aware that I have been doing this. I think a lot of people don't realize that, yeah, this kind of ambush sniping bollocks that we've seen, it's not very effective. Believe me, they die a huge amount, but it also gives them a lot of kills because people are stupid. And that just ends with, you know, such a massive frustration, I think, that you just see players giving up. And we've seen this, you know, in our gang alone, we've just seen people log on, play a couple of games, and it's like, God, this is shit. This matchmaking is terrible. It's boring. It's just the same people. And it does feel like there's only about 50 people playing Dust at our level, which is frustrating. So, you know, I honestly, and in fact, last night in the gang, the death words were muttered and issued and uttered under low breath, that the game does feel like it's dying properly now. You know, I mean, we say it all the time, oh, game's dying. No, it does feel like there's a problem now, because it just, you know, every time we log in, we fight the same small group of people. We fight the same collection of tactics. And, you know, that when you know that you're going to log on and you're going to have, you know, if you wanted to play something like an ambush and you know the only thing you're going to be doing is trying to chase snipers around the edge of the map and trying to kind of, you know, get a gang of 6 to face off a gang of 12. You know, you've got to say to yourself, what the hell is going on? The fact that CCP are not talking about Dust at FanFest also is a major concern of mine, because I think if they're not even going to mention it, they're not even going to utter a word about it, they're pretty much admitting that they have no interest in it as well. Which, when you see all the stuff they're talking about, war barges and, you know, adding personalized this and that, I mean, it's like, well, that is major development. Why on earth would you not talk about it? So something's awry, something's amiss, and it's quite frustrating that, again, we're in a position where there really is no clarity or certainty on what on earth is going on with this game. Don't mean to be negative. The game is still very fun when you get the right match. But I just, you know, I wish there was some ability to, you know, mix it up a bit. I think, you know, even if there is matchmaking, well, there is matchmaking going on, because we never face, well, we never seem to face low level players. We're always facing quite high level players. But I would say at the moment it just feels a bit dead. And I don't like saying that, because it is still very much a fun game. That, you know, out of the evening's games of, let's say, 5, 6, 7, 8 games, you will have one good one guaranteed. But usually you would expect to have all good ones. You would expect to even a defeat be good. And sometimes it's such a bitter defeat, because it's such a kind of frustrating, annoying kind of tactical stomp that you just think to yourself, what am I bothering with this for? And there we go. Thank God for Apex suits, eh? God, I lost a few there. But I think generally the game is good. Come play it. You know, if the more people that play it, the better matchmaking will be, I believe. And I think, you know, I've not sold that very well, but I do fervently believe it. Hope you enjoyed that. See you next time.